is a pulley I made from Pet G for a friend of mine at the gym who owns a gym. And the reason we made this is because the pulley that came with the system had very sharp edges up here and would cause the thing that went over it, the strap that went over it, it would shred the strap. So I made a rounded edge here so that the strap would slide back in. And so this lasted 6 months, and then it started sounding funny. And so it had a failure. And if you look closely in here, you can see I put some holes in here in an attempt to, I was going to put a cap on the other side to hold it to the bearing. But I never needed it, actually. It fit just fine without it. So you see the failures seem to be right around the area where those holes are. So I'm going to remake this model and use reverse engineering to do it. I have the STL file, but I don't have the original CAD model. So I'm going to remake this without the holes, and I'll probably, when I go to print it, I'll probably make the walls a little thicker as well around that area. All right, let me read in this STL file that I use for 3D printing this object. And there it is. If we edit it, you can definitely see that it is an STL file, that it's not a scanned mesh. But we're going to reverse engineer this STL file. So one of the things we need to do, it's already actually oriented perfectly well because it was created about the origin. So that's going to help us. We won't really have to do anything. We can just lock it down as is. We don't need to orient it again. We can lock it right down. And once it's locked down, I can use it in a sketch. So if I go with the top plane, I'm going to make a new sketch here, and then I'm going to section it. Now I need to make this plane a little bigger because I'm not getting everything. And because it's right on the you can see there's a little area there where it doesn't quite pick that up. That's not really going to hurt us because we can deal with that issue just fine. So I'm going to just grab just this half for now. I'm just going to grab half of that. I'm going to accept it, and I'm going to turn off my mesh. Now this is a mesh that has mostly a bunch of lines. Now the interesting thing is if I turn this mesh on and spin it around, you'll notice that there's this goes down into that hole. So we're going to probably want to ignore that. I suppose I could have rotated the thing around and wouldn't get that, but I don't need to worry about that too much. So let's just get building this here. So I'm going to select section lines and just select some of these lines and do a fit line. Select line, fit line. I can do several of these at a time if I hold in the Shift key. Okay, so I fit a bunch of lines. Let's see what we want to do with them. So this one, I think what I'll do here is just pick this vertex. Oops, I got to get back in that mode. Get into the polygon selection mode. Pick this vertex and this one and say merge. And that moves the second one into the first pick. Now I got 2 here, and here what I think I want to do is I want to extend and intersect them. So that's extend curves and intersect them and join them with a single vertex. That'll do that. I can do that here too. Extend and intersect. Now, I probably shouldn't have done that. That didn't really work well. I probably should just go like this. Pick this one, and say merge the vertices. There we go. I probably should have an edge here, a line here too. And you notice I've covered over that gap. And I can pick this edge, and I should be able to extend and intersect again. And this time I'm going to put that radius in there. So I'm going to throw a fillet on that vertex. And, let's type in radius 5. See what, perfect guess. I suspect this other one is 5 as well. So I'll extend and intersect these two. And throw probably a radius 5 fillet on there as well. And we're getting close to being done here. I think we can do this one. Let's see if this will extend and intersect. It does. And I'm going to do this one too because extend and intersect, because these both have the same radius. So I'm going to pick that one and pick that. Whoop. And pick that. Maybe. Oh, I got to hold the shift key to pick them both. And let's zoom in here and do a fillet. Oh, it looks like a 1 millimeter fillet. Pretty darn good there too. Accept that. And here, let's select the line. Yeah, that's getting a little more of the line than I really want, but let's see if I can fit a line to that. And I'm probably going to need to adjust that a little bit. Let's see if I go over like that. I should be able to do this and extend and intersect again. And then do an extend and intersect here. And then throw the fillet on there of, let me guess, maybe 3. Good guess. And here. Let's do this one a little differently. Let's make sure this goes down to that corner. And you notice it aligned with this guy. It used the alignment there. And I'm going to make a new edge here. Grab these two. Grab these 2 vertices, extend and intersect, and put a fillet on it, radius 3. Okay, so that's pretty darn good. If I look all over here, I'm right on that thing. Maybe a little bit of an adjustment here. Maybe I'm a little inside here. Let's take a look at this guy. Yeah, I'm a little inside, so I'm going to probably drag this out a little bit. Right to there. Let's see how it is on the other end. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, let me turn faces back on and make sure that we're closed. Yes, we are closed. So I should be able to create a revolution from this. Let me create a construction geometry. And when I have a construction line, it will use that in the revolution. It will use that as the axis. There we go. So that's the 90 degree. I could go 360 here and close it off. And I think that's it for reverse engineering this pulley. Now let's check it against the original and see how it looks. So first I'm going to select it here and get like a very, well, I can really turn the vertices on. So I just made a lot of vertices. When I didn't have this guy on, it looked like this. So that's not going to do a great job when we start measuring distances. So I'm going to put something a little smaller in there. So then when we measure distances, we'll be able to see what's going on. So let me turn this mesh back on. You can see it looks pretty good. And if I go into here and turn the distance function on, you can see it looks extremely good. You can see where the holes are, but everything else is green. And green is within, I think, 0.1 millimeter. You can change those settings up here in the mesh deviation display. So if it's green, it's 0.1 millimeter and minus 1.1 millimeter. So everything that's green, and it is all green, is very, very close. So you can see just where the holes were here. So I think this is a pretty darn good part. And all I would need to do now is, I mean, that tessellation is maybe a little fine. I might not need to go quite that much for the STL. Let's see here. Let me select this again. Maybe like 3 millimeters. 3 millimeters. That's probably pretty good for 3D printing anyways. I might go a little lower, but 2 or 3 would be fine. And then I can say File, Export, and to STL. So let's say new pulley. All right, I've read this model into Cura, which is slicing software. And what I am going to do here is, let's take a look at what we have so far. Here's sort of the default settings that I used last time. And you can see that the wall thickness, I think I used a 4 on the walls. And I'm going to change that to 8. And that should, and I'm also going to change the infill from 15 to 25%. So you should see a lot more infill now when I slice it. You can see the infill is thicker, and now I have 8 layers here. That should probably hold up, especially now that I've taken those screws out of there, screw holes out of there. It should be fine. So I can send this out to the printer now, and let's see what happens. Here is the FL Sun V400 doing its job. Just getting started. Here is the final result of that 3D print. Use a slightly different color material there, but we'll see this one. If this one lasted 6 months, my guess is this one will last at least a year. So we will see what happens. All right, we got the new one installed, and that's how it works. Nice and smooth. It's got a bearing on the inside there that thing fits into. And before, that strap would go over the edge. You can see it's still a little frayed. Hold it right there for just a second. I think you can see it's a little frayed from the old, where the strap would hop up on the edge, the sharp edge here of the original plastic. But now that I put that one in, it doesn't do that. Okay. So how long did that thing last with the old plastic?
The old plastic, maybe 3 months.
Maybe 3 months. And we had the new one on there. Actually, it was just a prototype on there for how long? About
6 months, almost going on 7 months.
And the thing is still in great shape, right?
It's still in great shape. I haven't had to replace it.
Okay. Well, it says how you can re-engineer something and make it better. You know, even though some company is making millions of dollars off it, you can make it better. All right. Thanks, John.
Got it.
Bye.